Theme, leading night. What is the significance of the American flag?
It is emblematic of the crowning virtue, charity.
Esteemed loyal night. What is the significance of the American flag?
It is emblematic of justice for all.
Esteemed lecturing night. What is the significance of the American flag?
It is a symbol of brotherly love.
Lodge Esquire. What is the significance of the flag from the station of the exalted ruler?
It is the symbol of charity.
Charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity are the cardinal principles of our order, and they are exemplified in all our services. By them, we teach love of country and of our countrymen, and loyalty to our American way of life. To be an Elk is to be an American citizen who lives for their country and is ready to die for it. Please stand. The chaplain will lead us in prayer.
Almighty God, in this hour of patriotic observance of the birthday of the American flag, we ask you to bless our flag and the people of these United States. For all that our flag represents, both at home and abroad, we thank thee. And for that, throughout all our history as a nation, it has been an ensign of freedom, liberty, and opportunity. And through the years, and come this May, this flag wave as the banner of liberty, freedom, and enlightenment. May this service bring to each of us a sense of loyalty to our country and enable us to be better patriots, truer citizens, and more loyal Americans. To thy glory and to the honor of a great nation. Amen. Amen.
Please be seated. That we may better understand the meaning of our flag, I call upon our chaplain, Jim Hembry, for the history of the flag.
Thank you. Heraldry is as old as the human race. The carrying of banners has been a custom among all peoples and all ages. These banners usually contain some concept of the life or government of those who fashion them. The evolution of the American flag marks the progression of the government of the American people. From the founding of Jamestown in Virginia in 1607 until 1775, the flag of England was the flag of the peoples of America. In 1775, the pine tree flag was adopted for all colony vessels, and this was the banner carried by the Continental forces in the Battle of Bunker Hill. The southern colonies from 1776 to 1777 used the snake flag. In the latter part of 1775, the Continental Congress appointed a committee to consider the question of a single flag for the 13 colonies. That committee recommended a design of 13 alternate stripes of red and white with an azure field, the upper corner bearing the red cross of St. George and the white cross of St. Andrew. John Paul Jones, the senior lieutenant of the flagship Alfred, hoisted this flag to the masthead on December 3rd, 1775. And 1 month later, it was raised over the headquarters of General Washington at Cambridge, Massachusetts, in compliment, as he wrote, to the United Colonies. This flag, called the Continental Colors and the Grand Union, was never carried in the field by the Continental Land Forces, but is used by the Navy as its exclusive ensign. And it was the first American flag to receive a salute of honor, a salute of 11 guns from the Fort of Orange in the Dutch West Indies, in response to a general demand for a banner more representative of our country. The Congress on June 14, 1777 provided that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes of alternating red and white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white on a blue field representing a new constellation. It is generally believed that on May or June of 1776, a committee consisting of George Washington, Robert Morris, and George Ross commissioned Betsy Ross, the Philadelphia Quakeress, I even mess up, Quakeress, to make a flag from a rough design they left with her. It is said that she suggested that the star should have 5 points rather than 6. The starry banner was first flown at Fort Stanwix, called Fort Schuyler at that time, near the city of Rome, New York, on August 3rd, 1777. It was under fire 3 days later at the Battle of Orniskey, August 6th, 1777, during the British and Indian attack. The first official salute to the Stars and Stripes was given on February 14th, 1778 by France on the French coast when the Ranger, under command of John Paul Jones, was saluted by the French fleet. The flag, then carried by the Ranger, was made by the young women of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, from stripes of their best colored silk dresses and a white wedding gown of a recent bride. It is said the same Ranger's flag was flown by Jones' ship, the Bonhomme Richard, in a thrilling fight by moonlight upon the high seas when the British frigate Serapis, when the Serapis struck her colors, the immortal fame of John Paul Jones was ensured as the intrepid defender of the youthful republic. The original 13 Stars and Stripes represented the 13 original colonies. In 1795, 2 additional Stars and Stripes were added, represented admission to the Union of Vermont and Kentucky. Under this banner of 15 Stars and Stripes was fought the War of 1812. It was the sight of it flying over Fort McHenry on September 14, 1814 that inspired Francis Scott Key to write what was to become our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Miss Margaret Young, who cut the stars for that particular banner, was the mother of Henry Sanderson, the Grand Exalted Ruler of the Order of Elks in 1884. The Congress, on April 14, 1818, adopted a resolution that on and after July 4, 1818, the number of stripes should be 13 and that the blue field should carry 1 star for each of the 20 states in the Union, that a new star should be added for each state thereafter admitted. Since 1818, there has been no change in the flag design except that 28 new stars were added before July 4th, 1912, and this flag of 48 stars flew over the nation of 47 years until just before the Vietnam War. On July 4th, 1959, a star was added for Alaska, our first non-connected state, and a year later, Hawaii, our island state, added a 50th star. Our present flag, 50 stars and 13 stripes. It's accompanied by the POW-MIA flag to recognize the plight and demise of a special group of our armed services who for prisoners of war still remain missing and missing in action.
Please stand and salute our flag. As this emblem is first in our hearts as loyal Americans, so is it close to our altar as loyal Elks. The gentle breezes with lingering caress kiss the folds of no flag which can compare with its beauty. There is no such red in budding rose, in falling leaf, or sparkling wine. No such white in April blossom, in crescent moon, or mountain snow. No such blue in woman's eye, in ocean's depth, or heaven's dome. And no such pageantry of clustering stars and streaming light in all the spectrum of sea and sky. Please be seated. Our flag is at once a history, a declaration, and a prophecy. It represents the American nation as it was at its birth. It speaks for what it is today and what it holds the opportunity for the future to add other stars to the glorious constellation. The benevolent and protective order of Elks is the first and only fraternal body to require formal observance of Flag Day. In July of 1908, the Grand Lodge of this order at Dallas, Texas, then assembled, provided for the annual nationwide observance of Flag Day on the 14th of June in each year, by making it mandatory upon each subordinate lodge of the order. This unique distinction, as the strongest promoter of Flag Day, is most becoming of the Order of Elks. This order is distinctly American. Only American citizens are eligible to join it, and it has no foreign affiliations. It has linked its destiny with the destiny of our country, and made this flag its symbol of self-dedication to God, to country, and to fellow man. I now call upon our esteemed leading knight, Leroy Littman, past District Deputy, for our response.
Thank you, exalted group. The Stars and Stripes, flag of the United States of America, the worldwide hope of all who under God would be free to live and do his will. Upon its fold is written the story of America, the epic of the mightiest and noblest in history. In the days when peoples in the old world groveled in abject homage and hearsay the divine right of kings, a new constellation appeared in the western skies. The Stars and Stripes, symbolizing the divine right of all to life, liberty, happiness, and peace under endowment by their Creator. To what man or woman is given words adequate to tell the story of the building of this nation? That immortal story is written in blood and sweat, in heroic deeds and unremitting toil, in clearing the primeval forest and planting the vast prairies where once the coyote and the buffalo roamed. Onward swept the nation, spanning wide rivers, leaping vast mountain ranges, leaving in its path villages and farms, factories and cities, until at last this giant nation stood astride the continent from the Atlantic to the Pacific. This is the heritage of the people of the United States. It has been repurchased by each succeeding generation and must be rewon again and again and again until the end of the time, lest it too shall pass like the ancient empires of Greece and Rome. The price of liberty is internal vigilance. What was won in Lexington and Concord, Bunker Hill, had to be repurchased at Ticonderoga in Europe. What John Paul Jones achieved upon the high seas in the War of Independence had to be repurchased by Commodore Perry on Lake Erie in the War of 1812. The prestige of Admiral Dewey's victory at Manila Bay in 1898 was re-won by the naval battles in the seas about the far distant islands of the Pacific after the sneak attacks upon Pearl Harbor, Manila in 1941, had summoned our country to assume the role of World War II. What our troops achieved under the Stars and Stripes at Chateau Thierry in Flanders in World War I, their sons were required to repurchase in World War II in the bloody trek across North Africa, on the beachheads of Europe, and in the Battle of the Balch. The flag of our American men raised on the Iwo Jima was the same flag later raised in the defense of Incheon, Busan, Pork Chop Hill, and far-off Korea. Then another generation under the same flag bled to the stem the threat of communism in far-off Vietnam. And who among us will ever forget the sight of the firefighters raising our flag over the ruins of the World Trade Center? The military personnel draping our flag on the side of the Pentagon, or the citizens of Somerset County, Pennsylvania, placing our flag near the site where brave Americans died fighting the hijackers on Flight 93. No other symbol could have offered such comfort as we still today endure the horrors of that day. Today, the American Armed Forces carry our flag in the villages of Iraq, the mountains of Afghanistan, and jungles of the Philippines, and wherever terrorists may reside. Their struggle against the sponsors of terrorism is the hardest battle yet. And this threat to our nation and to our way of life is certainly a great challenge as our flag has ever seen. The resurgence of patriotism since September 11, 2001 has rekindled respect for our flag. Today we see the Star-Spangled Banner wherever we turn, on homes, businesses, automobiles, billboards. Such displays stimulate our love for our nation and for what it stands. They remind us of the sacrifices being made by the men and women of our armed forces around the world. And they are a tribute to the heroes of the police and fire departments, the nation of it. The greatest significance of this flag, however, lies in the influence it has hearts and minds of millions of people. It has waved over the unparalleled progress of the nation in developing democratic institutions, scientific and technological knowledge, education, and culture. It has served as a beacon for millions of poor and oppressed refugees abroad and stands as a promise that underprivileged will not be forgotten. What is the meaning of the flag of the United States? There can never be a definitive answer to that question. There are people in this world who see it as a symbol of imperialism. Others see it as a destiny for the people. But reference to these similar views of the flag was resolved by Woodrow Wilson when he said, "This flag, which we honor, under which we serve, is the emblem of our unity, our power, our thought and shape of this nation. It has no other character than that which we give it from generation to generation. The choices are ours. Our love, true love of our fellow man can create peace. The emblem and token of the love of the Stars and Stripes, the symbol of the American way of life. Our Father is God, to thee, author of liberty. To thee we sing. Long may our land be bright with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might, great God, our King."
Thank you, Leroy. Lodge Esquire. How shall we further honor our flag?
The flag is formally honored by the Pledge of Allegiance, written in 1892 by Francis Bellamy and printed as a youth's companion in the magazine as a patriotic campaign for the magazine. The pledge did not become part of the flag code until 1942, and in 1954, the phrase "under God" was added.
Let us stand and pledge ourselves never to forget the principles represented by this flag. Please join in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. I would like to introduce the officers who participated in the ceremony today. Our leading knight, Leroy Littman, past district deputy. Our loyal knight, Joe Eisenberg, past exalted ruler. Our esquire, Chris Merritt. Our chaplain, Jim Hembry. And our treasurer, Dennis Igo, in the back there. Thank you very much. In conclusion of this observance of Flag Day, let us rededicate ourselves to the flag of the United States of America, and may the principles of charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity ever increase in each of us. I now declare this service closed. Thank you so much.